platform is independent, and we wanted to work with everyone across the spectrum. So folks are invited to share what they know, and the viewers make their choice, and we ask the questions and we give the guest the opportunity to answer.
This craziness, man, I do not care. Why am I so anti-establishment? Because of what I've seen the establishment do to people. That's why I cannot be pro-establishment.
Power is in the hands of the people. And it really did. What we all witnessed is the government, they knew that they're heading in the wrong direction. They knew Gambians are speaking in the same voice.
What law in the books that says the government has power to come out and go after folks' private citizens' properties and demolish them because somehow the government interest?
The only way that we can salvage our country is when everybody gets their hand dirty. Don't sit there with your expertise and just to procrastinate everything that people say or pontificate, what everybody says or does. Let's get our hands dirty.
Up Samba. This one is a special, of course. We wouldn't miss it. I'm sure most of you, last Sunday, we couldn't come. And we decided, we're here at the July 4th. Gan gu rëy lañ am here in Atlanta. Gan gi nekk ci digga bi mooy Ebrima Dibba. Dibba Chako. Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you, my brother.
So more time, I'm a special. I mean, obviously, this is not the usual Sunday show. Why and talk about the past, of course, and talk about people that left us. They play a pivotal role. Nakanga, when you talk about Gambian politics, you remember the white JUWARAs of this world. Omar Amadou Jallow. These were people that put everything. At the end of the day, they are no more. We have their memories. So funja to watanilen, Pap Samba.
Yes, Father Musa, we're here in this hamlet of a community called Atlanta. Why is good and to be here with our friend Ebrima Dibba. And Musa, it was just 22 years ago.
Yes,
July 4th, when we all worked together with Ebrima and everybody to bring all the opposition here in Atlanta, 2003.
Yes,
and that gave us NAD. That gave us STGDP, that built a relationship that has lasted this long. And sometimes maybe people do not understand. So sometimes when, despite our differences, I say, why wouldn't I understand this? Because there is something that is, I'm not looking lal. And it's a relationship that was built when everything was extremely, extremely, very, very, very lonely. The Ebrima Dibba's guys Seattle yek. Alkali Conte in North Carolina, you name it. Nyom si humbalo sa you talk nyom isa nyom ki yang ever look mo do balde.
Yes.
Neka feeling New York. And all those people, we all came together because we had a shared belief that the Gambia needed to do better. And we're glad that at this day, normalcy has returned back to our country. Why, Ebrima, you are Musa's boy. Man, Pata is my boy. So, Pata, I know you're jealous already. It's okay.
Yeah. Without a doubt. So, tukulor comme ning ko gisee ni rek ñu ñëw ne daal bala ñoo toog fii añ be pare di naan ataya hey, why don't we just get together and have a short program, talk about the past, without a doubt. Ebrima Dibba, welcome to Atlanta. And get nañoo gisee na maa yow moom. Wax dëgg yàlla. So welcome to For the People, by the People. Nyom Tukulor, people are beginning to trickle in. The moment they get the notification, ñëpp dinañ trickle in. Ebrima, gaya ngi nii, nuyul gaay.
Bala maa wax dama am benn very famous word. I'm emotional.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite. Yo, Mom, you are always emotional. Yes, because reality is when the events in program in politics is the best thing. I mean, I believe that one can do for yourself and your country. And
right.
We are going to talk about those people.
Correct.
By online for sometime more than 10 hours.
Yes.
To discuss way forward. You know, you discuss fee.
Yes.
Concerning about the country, but particularly for our generation, even generation yet unborn, you have Luffy Hewan. Ñun bu ñëwé effort buñ defoon fii pour to unseat Jammeh.
Yes.
To have democracy and rule of law in our country. Ñu bari xamuñ ko. Ñu bari after 2016 nañ join si struggle bi. Ñu foog ne foofu la dooree wu fa de. Am na ñu ko defoon fii, am na ñoo xam ne ñu nga dunda, am na ñoo xam ne dee nañ.
Yes.
So we are going to talk about all those people who sent contribution. ñoo xam ne dem nañ ñu ñaan leen. One day we are not going to be here. People
Absolutely.
are going to talk about us, of course, no doubt about it. Lu baax li nga fi def ak lu bon yëpp la ñoo discuss.
Wax dëgg la.
Ku nekk ñu try rek ñu nekk lu baax. Ñu jiital réew mi. Ñu jiital suñu boppa.
Correct.
Réew mi buñ gis dara ñu xam ne réew mi moo ñu gën a ëpp doole ñun ñëpp. You know, so coach, kontaan naa waa sa boy bi dina muñ pata. Unfortunately, you know, I'm the man in the house today, you know.
But I'm jealous because I was talking to him on the phone. Small boy.
Wow.
You know, Ebrima Dibba, no. How is Ebrima Dibba your boy?
Let me pull this Coca-Cola here on my side first.
Absolutely, absolutely. I come in go ahead. We definitely gonna dial back. I mean, I know the big elephant in the room, we're going to be going into elections in 2026. I mean, you cannot talk about politics today without swing hell yet them to 2026. But at one time, we were also talking about 2006. At one time, we were also talking about 2016, 2011.
Yep.
At one time, 2016. So so-called said law, issues really change you that much.
No.
There was always talk going back to 2006. How can we come together to rescue our country, Ibrahim? Every Sunday, we're on conference call, going back and forth, talking about the issues. Can more what a definitely. It reminds me the role that somebody like JUWARA played. It reminds me the role that Omar Amadou Jallow. These were the players. They are no longer with us. How about FEMI Peters?
Yep.
This is the guy that was sent to jail because Momo applied on permission to hold a rally.
Yep.
And he was put away for 6 months, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or was it what?
No, They
are no longer here. Ñun tamit, at some point, we are no longer going to be here. So, Mother Averi, life is too short, Ebrima. So, the same challenges in Amon back in 2006. You formed Save the Gambia Democratic Project to come together. And we all realized mistakes in Megon, and it didn't happen. We didn't succeed. We didn't succeed 2011. 2016, when we were able to come together, we were able to send Jammeh packing. Some people do believe something similar to that needs to be done. We should learn our lessons from that. Learn more work on, learn more work on. Ebrima, let's go back to JUWARA. You're Wangama several times, and he's your mentor. He actually brought you into politics. Man, I remember just very short, Nirek, going back to the elections of, was it 76? Or was it 76 election? When he ran against
1992.
When he ran against when he ran against Sehu Sabali. That's when Afonaloye won his first time to get into politics. And that was a tough race. I mean, he lost by few votes, Sehu Sabali at that time. so yow lan nga farale ko ci waa.
so bala ma dem si waa. lu ma njëkk a wax mooy tey am nañ opportunity have Zoom, Facebook Live, and all these things. So ni ñu ma xamut suma diggante Musa ak coach time boobu conference call la woon.
Yes.
Can we just moromam?
Yes.
I remember Chris Sukuna said Samba. Samba. I can buy Chris Sukuna kii fa la jógee. Wa hehi Gambia ak buga Gambia tax mu jóg.
Yes.
ñëw bokk ak ñun.
Yes.
Time boobu nga xam Banga Mané fele Atlanta. Musa Jeng fele Pasamba nele Ibrima Dibba nele.
Yes.
Karamba Touré Florida.
Yes.
You know Karamba the cool guy. You know.
Soft spoken.
So lu ma bëgg a wax mooy. Gambia tax ñun ñëpp ñu xamante.
Yes.
Bala our individual political parties. So this is my relationship at Musa. Suma relationship at Pasam. I'm not from Dor. Feka dafa naxari.
Definitely.
Kenn du wax boromam ne your party bi nga bokk party bele ñun ñëpp ñu ne Gambia naka la ñoo sukale ko Gambia.
Correct.
Def Gambia a better country. Waaye balaa ñun tamit am na ñu fa nekkoon loolu tax ngay mention JUWARA.
Yes.
JUWARA is one person koo xam ne. lim am the history of the Gambia ba tey kenn amu ko. Moom nekk na commissioner.
Yes.
From URR.
Yes.
Be West Coast.
Yes.
Be North Bank. Be fi nga wax. Te fu mu dem dafa dee by history.
Yes.
Su ñëwee mu fekk koo xam ne dañ foog de jàmbaar la di tooñ nit ñi di daan seen kaw.
Chiefs yi
daf dee jóg taxaw. xeexaa kooku ba ñi xam ne li nga naa wax si kii loolu amul doomi aadama rek la.
dafa demystify
kooku. def ko moo xam ne ba ñëpp gom ne. ndekete kii luñ daan wax ne ay gaanaay yu mu am. dafa am ay jinne loolu amul. doomi aadama rek lañ. so dafa jox nit ñi fit ñoo xam ne amuñu doole. nga ñëw daan seen kaw den seen alal yi. waa JUWARA mu ne loolu du fi am. fu demee base. noonu la xee. ba mu ñëw fu mu jógee wu sa Seba Sanjal. mu dem contest ak Seexu Sabali.
correct.
nga dem pele base amara bangali ñoom doole yu mag lañ. so waa
very influential.
fu mu dem base sax. lu mu fa def da ngaa gis ne ñii ñoo bugg a réew seen réew ñii ñoo bugg a jóg xeexal ñoo xam ne dañ ñëw doole. understand nga. sooy def politics foo nga am mentor Musa.
yes.
man ñoom waa JUWARA. dégg la UDP laa.
waaw
waaye am na yoon bu ma jaar. ak moom.
right.
so kooku moo ñu train. moo ñu mentor. ba ñu mun a nekk ak ñun fu ñu nekk ak ñun tam. am na ñun tam ñoo xam ne naka lañ ko dee we are role models in politics. waaye man nu ma ko dee gisee man I don't want to be feel that way. nit ñi ñëw fekk ma si mbedd ma Dibba yow de yow suma role model daf dee funny si man because man loolu tax man ma jóg man dama doon jóg rek pour liggéeyal suma réew. waaye Pa Samba you will not know soo demee Gambia Pa Samba Jaw moomu noonu kooku nu mu ne ñeme ña wax dëgg xam nga so it's not about because you want to be out there pour wax yi because sa réew bi moo la ñoro. so anyway man li ma dee bëgg a wax rek mooy man I am proud of myself. Even if nobody is proud of me, I'm proud of myself because xamoon naa jóg naa time boo xam ne moom naxari la tey neex na. am na ñoo xam ne ay mayor lañ am na ñoo xam ne ay councilor lañ ay député lañ ñun suñ taxawtoon fuñ taxaw ba tey Jammeh moom fa dina fa nekk. so ñooñu ñu ngi enjoy that opportunity because of us ak ñooñu ñu nekk on the ground. lu si gën a nekk sax am na ñoo xam ne ñun gisuñ lañ ay yaay compagnie lañ ñoo xam ne demuñ school sax. waaye jóg nañu takka seen digga ñu ne dañ bëgg a Gambia bi soo demee KMC am na fa soo demee URR am na fa soo demee CRR foo dem jigéen ñoo xam ne dañ dee dem seen naa koy waaye ba teg takka nañ seen digga ba réew mi am boppam. so voilà ñu gën a continuer si waa JUWARA ñooñu lañ war a sant gërëm ñoo xam ne change of government am nañ amuñ fa benn position.
waaye xeex bi ñoom ñoo ko xeex.
waaye xeex bi ñoom ñoo ko xeex.
no definitely.
you
are right. You are right. And pour waa. waa amoon na something loo xam ne moom the only other person ko xam ne was like that mooy woon they were two waa ak Buuba Balde ñoo xam ne nii could stand anywhere in the country and they would get votes.
Wow.
But Waa was like, I think Waa was if you want to call him a national candidate,
yes,
he was not restricted to regions, but like you said, bu moo nekk like a governor or whatever you can call it,
Commissioner.
commissioner. You know, because you have to also build a relationship with the people to the extent that they are comfortable. Because I'm not how many times, but no. You were not going to run against Usama, you're not going to run against Abu Rajan. Because I'm the, you know, but no one is a guy on it. I remember Abu 5,000 votes. That was Gambia 2.4 million people.
Yeah.
But you know, but that's what you said. But you also touch something. It's good sometimes to be reflective. Because politicians in Gambia, mostly you rely on these women. In fact, not mostly, almost, always on these women.
Right.
They're the driving force behind this. And especially the politics during Jammeh days, it was not for the faint-hearted.
No.
Because once you declare you are in the opposition, not only you are done, but even your family members, they're not going to work in the government. So these are people, they were there, that they were not expected to be ministers, they were not expected to be anything, but they put their lives on the line for the change. And we saw that, like, even during 2016, trial, when the Kalama Revolution, the women came out.
Right.
And we lost some of those people too, and all these people. So, like you said, Musa, definitely, it's good sometimes to sit back and remember the great job some of these people have done for our country, and selflessly so. You know, of course, I'm some mistakes, and these politics, why those mistakes will never take away the great job that they did. There is a reason why was Barodi, and why problem on Jammeh started. I still remember this. It was not why. Because of why was going to Nyami and Kunku visit, they felt threatened.
Yes.
And started arresting him. And this is this. But listen, he did a great job for, you know, definitely the Gambia owe him a great debt of gratitude.
No doubt, no doubt.
In fact, Sonia Kelly Marodi, Togi Neka Neki round, mon fila din talk si chat bi. Wow, si mango trebi nak. Yes, the lecture. Pour one nit nekk la ñoo xamee seen right buñ ko téyee 1996 comme ni ko waxee rek.
Yes.
mu ñëw ñu ñëw seet si ko. mu ne ma suma dee sax géwéli taxaw si kaw suma baamel wax moo ma gënal ma dem join these people. te suñ oytu ñii dañoo yaaxa suñu réew mi, so we have to get them and fight, you know, and génnee ñii si so da ngaa gis ne waa dafa am fit.
Yes.
moom he's among the politicians ñoo xam ne fit rek am na fit te ñemeñ na wax dëgga. te also he understands issues.
He does. Smart guy.
Waa JUWARA 1992 against PPP. Can you imagine?
At that time.
The
mighty PPP.
Mighty PPP.
Yes.
Mama Wasise. Mu dem as independent candidate.
Yes.
Mu door Wasise. You have to talk about them Lamin Boy.
Yes.
Yeah,
LB Boy.
LB
guy
Boy.
From, yes.
You know, Sajam Boy.
Nyamina.
Sajam Boy, Papam.
Yes.
You know, those powerful politicians.
Yes.
Then there was a very famous safe one, Nganyi, Nyamina, Nganyiba. Nganyiba was so powerful in those days. They were all campaigning and JUWARA. Why mu toll leen? Mu dem parliament. Ñoom Seydou Sabali bu ko koñee ni. I'm sorry, but
I know. Absolutely, it's the history. You know? It needs to be told.
So waa manage to be part of that. Mu ñëw UDP. His first position, I remember, in United Democrats, said National Propaganda Secretary.
Yes.
Before 6 months, then ñu ñëw téye ko.
Yes.
benn bés waa JUWARA ñu ñëw téye soldat yi ñoo ñëw si këram soldat.
Yes.
mu ne lu ma def ñu ne I'm sorry to say this. mu ne lan laa def ñu ne yow yaa tax imam ak gars yi dem daal Juba mu ne man dama dee julli. What do I have to do with Juba? Wax la nag man ma bëgg a yóbbu rek. I'm sorry to say this.
Of course. Yes.
Don't buy man. But I don't even go that Juma. Because then they know Danus Kawamne just to, intimidate him.
Yes.
Why morning call deaf? Understand? You yobu ko mudel tawel bi def ko ni. Mu ne bàyyi leen man lañ ñëw jëli. ñu ne man lañ dem. Soldat yi yóbbu waa kenn xamul fan lañ ko yóbbu. Almost 2 weeks. So loolu yëpp si bés buñ ko bàyyee si la day gën a taxaw takkan digga mu ne foog ñu génnee réew mi si loxo ñii.
Yes.
So waa mu ngi laa woon ne ku bugg a réew mam la.
Yes.
and ku ñeme ñu wax dëgg la.
Yes.
C'est that guy who will say hey man dama dee julli sax.
Yes.
Why do I have to go and Donald Juma? No, the thing my book told you know. So we're arresting over 10-15 times. Why we must have modelo Ghana. Te you know you many were bariwul. Te munna the money one yebne Gambia platform. Name them si platform motivate inspire people.
Yes.
Number one in the world. So how they su ma nee xale yi ñoo xam ne bokk nañ si politique léegi dañ war a seet nañ waa naka daan defee politique duñ daan saaga kenn duñ daa wax ne man maa am suma whatsapp bi dinaa saaga Musa Jeng you know am nga façon yooyu man I don't want to do that.
Politics has changed more, definitely. It has changed. But when you talk about bañkat la, I still remember being in Atlanta back we were just talking about 2002. And I still remember mungi am pictures of me at Ninko Tochoe Ganawam. I mean, this guy was the first person who he wasn't going to succumb. He was tortured, he was put away for 6 months at mile 2. I mean, and that's why JUWARA for you. He paid a huge price. Now, but there is something that also did. So they get militancy within the UDP. Bankat. Played a role.
I think
big time. I mean, he was the number one banker. But something happened in 2001, Ebrima. We need to revisit that.
Yes.
When after the elections, he ended up leaving the UDP.
Yes.
And Namunga Khustilolu. Watch it a little bit. Because we need to, at some point, definitely, I'm on the difference, Alaji Hussein, the Secretary General of the party.
Yes.
I mean, they were seeing things totally differently.
Yes.
So if we can kind of delve into that a little bit, without laying blame on it.
Let me rectify this part. At the end of the day, I become even an imam. Understand? So Mbarodi, 2001 presidential election. He was the propaganda secretary.
Yes.
So Momonyo with this political strategy, kuneka finger joge.
Wow.
Ngadem for campaign. Yes, and them see yalla single nyasi. We'll talk about single nyasi.
Yes.
So single never them phony. No in Jamme and APRC at that time phony. Mono ko na nga fi bi ka di war like fi du sa territory.
Demal phony.
But what that pour mettre de côté la ganane.
Tay la ganane.
So single tell he need a team.
Yeah.
Now why you are company wa mono ko did. Man joge ma phony man nyami na la joge. What I dem. You know? So I'm not going to fit. But so what happened 2021 election?
2001
election. Okay. Constituency neka. I'm named for Kuwara head politics for Njidi politics. Kufa neka counting agent and returning time bobu. Resources votes here then could gel yobuko si bena center. Time bobu sport counting amatuton. Nyamina send vote be yep then could yobu administrative area pede. Masa Konko, Masa Georgetown, Masa Konko be yep then ko yobu fenen West Coast be yep then ko yobu Gambia College. Okay, MC yep. So non la neke.
Yes.
So what JUWARA mom was kind of like a presiding officer for the party.
Yes.
Vote bin mo ko de endorse bala IEC di ko announce. Time bobu Gabriel Robert mo nekon fok na suma faade won mo nekon.
I think so. I think they did Roberts.
Mo nekon IEC chair. So basically endorsed na vote buñ amon Ciara.
Right.
Ku nekk Brikama also endorsed na vote bi lañ am Brikama. Ku nekk Banjul tamit endorsed na. So buñ tali votes bi yep. The result was Jammeh defeat. You understand?
Right.
So lolu bum ame. Usino as a party leader, tension be high on too much.
Yes.
While IEC declared bepare, Jammeh won the election.
Jammeh won the election.
All right. So Usino, just to calm the situation.
Right.
He as a leader,
right,
he have to act.
Right.
So Guy GRTS with consultation of New time to reach out to somebody to Nyamina's areas and all that.
Communication. Yeah, it's not like cell phones or anything like that.
So Usenu, he consulted those available at the time at executive level.
Right.
At new for among advisors.
Right.
You know, he congratulated Jammeh.
Jammeh, yes.
So that didn't go down well.
With what?
With Wa. Wa mune Usenu wala nangu. But Musa, to be honest with Usenu, so fekene yo danga buga na bany. Danga wara na insist ne vote buñ count ñame na area bobu nonu.
Yes, it's not reflective of yes.
So yo so ko confirm.
Right.
Fofu nonu ñame na Sierra.
Right.
Ki nek LRR confirm.
Right.
Ki nek West Coast confirm.
Right.
But Usenu as a leader, mom neko fa yena fa nek.
Yena fa nega.
Yena ko endorse be ñu announce ko.
Right.
So fekene yo danga bañon ne. What buñ announce buñ amé fede. Man d'accord mané. Di lañ am. So at least Usenu should wait. But so long you endorse, he's left with anything but just to
exactly call it for what it is.
Call it for what it is.
Yeah.
So why mune usen lim def for def lolu. So usen def for them retreat.
Withdraw limwa.
Withdraw limwa. Usen being a lawyer, mom jogu rek congratulate Jammeh nono. He follow due process protocol.
Correct.
It would have been weird to go back and say, man endorsement.
Then he starts saying Useno's chicken hearted.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Useno go, okay, if you are light hearted, take your heart. I think, so why mom book chobi je?
Wow.
So when they push until they compel the party to expel him from the party because every week hell. So anyway,
because those contradictions are there. One mom definitely, he did well for his country.
Yes,
definitely he fought well, and I'm glad that you also mentioned Single Nyasi.
Yes,
and I remember Single Nyasi Bumganyo Fini. That was 2013. We were just getting ready to do Borbor. I think it was 2013 or 2000. I don't know when you can from Borbor. So I think 12 or
somewhere around 2013.
Yeah, I remember Osmenga. I still remember where I stood. Matahaw. Osmenga ma call him, why do we have bad news? You need kid of a rear. Monaco, that's impossible. So I remember calling Yaya Dabo. And then Usenu was here Usenu was on his way back.
Yeah, Usenu just left.
So and then you know what? I don't even know whether I can tell Usenu. I'm so scared to even tell him Single. And the funny thing is that Single was here with Adama Barrow.
Yes.
The Adama Barrow that nobody knew except maybe Nene continue the
Yes.
But Single too, man, went through hell. See it, Loha Jammeh, they tortured him. They did horrible things to him. And these are people, how many definitely put their lives on the line for Gambia. Even some people, some cynics will tell you, oh, they were using it for UDP, but UDP is a political party. Because you could have done it for UDP and not get yourself in trouble, get arrested, get tortured, and all that, and say, you know what, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines to election Madam Sani, and no, but they put their lives on the line fighting this government, especially somebody like Single, giving them he was from Foni.
Yes,
So Jammeh and the way that Jammeh thinks is like looking at him as a betrayer, somebody who was betraying Nyom Cosby and all this thing. But I saw Dawda Sise talked about also Fodi Makalo.
Yeah,
these are people who paid the ultimate price for our struggle.
Yes.
And I hope that this government or subsequent governments definitely would recognize these people.
Absolutely.
For what they did. Because easy would on.
Coach, ndem si yàlla Single Nyasi. Moom comme ni ko waxee moom ak Adama Barrow ñoom ñoo fi ñëwoon. Then Usenu also that time he was here. So suma kër la jógee. Bu mu ñëwee si yàlla man maa ko looj. ñu am meeting ak Usenu double la ko dee or double mu ne single is not single is double so Usenu di ko wone double Nyasi so mu ne ko ne pa Usenu how come you call single double Nyasi mu ne suñ benn xarit moo dee call single kii Rife Diab mu ne Rife Diab moo joxee single tul boobu mu ne single du single he is double So that's why they also no call him double nyas. Mung don't watch stairs. Suma nek second floor lañ nekkoon. Single di dox. Ma ne ko Musona. Stop the knock. Ma ne ko single. Papa single. What's wrong with you? Ma ne ma fii. Suma ndiga bi ak suma bag mu ne suma doxee tuuti rek second if I climb up. Mu ne buñ ko doon force pour arrest ko nangu arrest mu ne dafa am comme something they just put it in spinal cord here. Na pak ak marathon pak. Mu ne mu daanu piri. Mu ne from that time, you know, I mean, musuta feel the same. So noni lañ ko jëlee ma fa bu saane di den yóbbu ko si airport mu dem New York after 2 days ne Single Nyasi dafa gaañ. So Single Nyasi dañ ko arrest simply because ñu ne I'm sorry to bring this up. ñu ne Jola la dafa war a support Yaya Jammeh. Single Jola bu bon la. So that's why he faced all those difficulties because of Gambia. Mu ne moom gisu tribe gisu dara Gambia la gis te moom lim gom rek mooy nga jóg taxaw pour sa réew. Single was the first youth president of United Democratic Party.
I remember that.
You know, he served as a youth president be mo domi pabi. Single was in his late 50s. Muga walde youth president 55 years. So alhamdulillah, why time bobu non hale ñoo joguton duga politics.
No, it wasn't for everybody.
It was not for everybody. It was for special people. ñoo xam ne either you put your family at risk, your loved ones, even your friends. You know, duñ dee nango duga. So Single nekk na youth president be mo am almost 60 years.
Wow.
From 1996 be 2013 time bobu la because kenn ñeme yo duga si politique time bobu.
Yes.
So lu ma doon wax sagana mooy Ousseynou dafa daan double. The code or single, when a single is a double, you know, yeah.
Double Nyasi.
Double Nyasi.
Yes.
So, when you revisit the politics, so if you get bokuñ benn political party, loolu taxut mënuñoo toog den benn table because issues of the country.
Definitely.
You know,
there is no need for it. We can all have our differences, of course, and that is natural. Why we also must respect each other, but also let's recognize the sacrifices that people waged. You know, the Single Nyasi of the world. You don't have to be a UDP to respect Single Nyasi for what he did. You don't have to be endowed to respect JUWARA for what he did. And all these Nyom Nogoy, Nyai, Nyom Fode Makalo, and all these people who died and sent deaths, Nyom Nyep, Nyom Solo Sende, was directly as a result of them standing up to dictatorship. So you cannot hate dictatorship, but you cannot appreciate people whose lives were lost in the process of fighting dictatorship.
Definitely.
And that's the thing. Why, you know,
and the beauty of this, Moine, and going back to after we lost the elections in 2001. Right here in Alnana, I remember the people that were very prominent at that time. Young Keba Jallow.
Yep.
Keba Jallow played a pivotal role. Even Omar Faye.
Yep.
And
Omar Faye man.
Huh?
Ambassador.
Omar Faye, ambassador?
Huh?
Yes.
I remember after 2000, we were Halai.
Yes.
Then later this, and he also became Commissioner Jammeh, is Governor Kika, like what's his name? Khan.
Yes.
Omar Khan.
Yeah. Actually, you on Atlanta Fini.
Yeah.
Really. I still remember in 2001, they came to my house collecting contributions. Omar Faye Akeba Jallow for the PPP UDP coalition.
Yes, sir.
Understand? Yeah. So you see them on the other side.
Yeah.
At some point, they played a huge role.
Yes, true.
Coming back after the election 2001, how long Ebrima Dibba?
Yes.
We even have a age gap.
Yes.
Understand what I mean?
Absolutely.
You have your body orientation via Birkama, and Fana orientation via Jeng Senegal. Pa Samba Jaw, same thing. But what brought us together? Gambia. See, you am some biases because of Kirgun Doge and the orientation. Politics, it's very funny, huh? Really?
Yeah.
You also get to Kirgo Hamnum NCP. The chances are that is going to be the NCP bias orientation that you have. challenge bi lim dee nekk mooy how can you guys come together with civility and respect? You know what? Ñun ñëpp xamoon nañ ne Jammeh is bad. Something needs to be done. Ñun ñëpp xam nañ ne if we do not come together, do them. We all know that. And it was a huge challenge.
Isn't that program B? Du mëna nekk tey rek because fo ñu wax ñam tukulóor si fo ñu wax ñeneen ñoom sukay na ka.
Exactly.
ñoom ami sila doy.
Yes.
ñu bari ñoo xam ne.
Yes.
Sacrifice nañ a lot.
Yes.
Pour gis ne Rome bi am na boppam. So coming back to also boom defee political party am ndam la.
Ndam. Yes.
Yes. The mobile force they got to ndam san. So party bi mu la jog. Demo fofu. Hanga politics was nice.
Yes.
Bi mu leen ndam so mu leen ndam san. After bi from his political party after he left UDP but party bi mënut a dem. Because he have the other branch of the party in Diaspora here, Nyom Osmenga, if I can remember, Nyom Pamani. So why Loli yep mom the from the mom for Gene Jammeh at that time.
Yes.
Because for some whole boom
yes.
Fonga jog Jankwanti of Jammeh, dictator be.
Yes.
You have
to
take
him head off.
You have to take head off. So Usino also believe there's a way to deal with the dictator. Kuneka amsa strategy after way of doing things. Politics no la. Politicians are different. They have different characters. They have different behaviors. So so you have to combine all these characters to able to achieve what you want. So I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I jambar yo hamne come a mass like Oje, after 2021, the ban. And even before they left the ban,
yes,
he believed in PPP, therefore a job can to ban PPP. He's among the few ministers you have bun ban PPP, they stood up against Jammeh. Bun by PPP, knew them 2001 presidential election. Papa Self Mustafa Dibba. So we're gonna talk about everything.
We're gonna talk
some people might
get offended. No, I'm not Ebrima.
Yeah.
If we're gonna speak history,
yes,
we're gonna speak the truth. And sometimes but at that time,
yes,
I mean the conversation was different.
Yes.
Because the Mustafa Dibba, I remember meeting the guy Amon at the YMCA.
Yes. No. More leader.
Coalition talks lower. And we are still dealing with that problem now.
Yes. So OJ job. Then you ban from 1996 to 2000. Usinu daba mi guy am new job. He hal new. Ben you buy new. Nenko jole dolen jugal. Tanago munema. Takatare. I cannot go. Let me be biased a little bit, Coach, mom, he cannot see eye to eye with the PPP folks. The PPP folks no recommend Useno as the flag bearer for 2021. So Lulu Rekata.
So the NCP PPP rivalry.
Lulu Rekata movement. I remember one guy. There are some people who educate why they play a vital role.
Yes.
I was there as a young boy. Wow. Munya atleta. Muna Usenu Sirifu Dibba, Mota Mahamantek yo. The man NCP la. Buganara why Sirifu Sudeme and Lingman difference as my life. What you did for me, Sirifu even do that for me. But Gor Academy.
Correct.
Mandama Delosa chairman said B. I'm going to PPP.
NCP.
NCP. Usenu Dabo almost in tears. City. I think I want that. Musuma first take that. Mbene SMA tax ñu xamanté. Té mom paté mi bay nañ ko mu ngey dem ya ngay dem. Mu ne ko man tam baral na. Ñom ñaar yépp joy. I was right there. You know.
So you see, that's politics for you.
We're talking about OJ, sir, most. I'm going OJ, naturally, rival law. Before. Doi PPP, do not lalate. Suñ waji, more OJ and run. I remember moom laa lay explain noonu 1992 election si maa ngi kontaan nañ ne bii kay dañoo dóor OJ ñu door di ooy votes yi Halifa Sallah 773 votes OJ Jallow 7,000 ma ne dañoo fekk ndeysaan when I said that ma Job Seck ndeysaan may he so rest in peace mo suma cousin Ousmane Diop they were just laughing at me like crazy. I was so angry. But when the coup happened,
94.
Sometimes measure of a man come king is not measured where he stands in times of comfort and convenience.
Correct.
Why where he stands in times of difficulties and controversy.
Challenges, yeah.
And OJ became the sole PPP member. Ko xamne ni I am going to take on this dictatorship head on. I remember ñu tasee Serekunda East nawetaan. maa ngi fa Ousseynou Ndiaye fa woon ñoom kii naka la tudda ñoom Lang Tombong Tamba there were a lot of them. Even time of members of the junta ñu ngi fa woon nawetaan la woon. So OJ after mu ne ma dina am ku la call after ma ne ko okay so kooku call ma. OJ dafa start a movement. I think it was the Democratic Forum or the Democratic Front because Halifa started one. OJ amoon na so dama lay jaxase ñaari nit. Kooku call ma ne ma OJ dafa defend this front and what he's doing mooy violation of rights yi nga xam ne moom la ñoo def ministre si arrest yi nii.
Yes, to put a stop to it.
So apu ne ñoom they'll go out and protest. ñu ngi war a meeting Sunday mu ngi war a nekk place sangam. They were infiltrated by the SIS or whatever.
Yes, at that time.
Lolo indi what arrest bu ñaaw bi nga xam ne moom la Sana Sabally arrest on guy when they put them see Troxy di leen humiliate.
Yes.
Lolo ko indi woon. And that was why when they released ñëpp OJ lañ bàyyi woon. I remember calling Jabaram Awajo di check ndax release nañ OJ mu ne ma xam nga sa waa ji dafa dëgër bopp ñëpp lañ bàyyi ba mu des moom. But the reason why I'm bringing this boy, OJ was one person who had never wavered. Never. He was there, UDP, he was with them.
Yes.
You know, in fact, 96 he was in detention. And we cannot also forget that guy too. Yeah. And then our job, you know, we represent ko. See meeting see UDP. You have full like a solidarity. And he became somebody who believed in Sadaw, they believed in the PP legacy. I am going to stand for it. And Ben Nekatibe day.
He never walked away
from it. And OJ would have been the most ideal person.
Yes.
They could have had him if he wanted to.
Reach out to him several times.
He refused.
You
know, people like, and we remember that during the coalition thing, OJ always played a very instrumental
role. He made it. I'm telling you, because if you go back, OJ was our go-to. Seriously, in terms of communication, whether it's whether it's Halifa, whether it's Alaji Usainu, it was much easier to talk to OJ. Someone knew exactly what's going on. OJ and Diaspora, we were all on the same team. Because Mom, he actually didn't even consider himself in the running at all. Mom, all OJ knew this, if we come together, this guy can be defeated. All of us were surprised when the 2006, at some point, OJ decided to put his hat in the ring. And that also contributed to the disintegration of NAD. I'm going to tell you, there is always controversy. You know, land more disintegrate NAD. Lanata in 2006, even though there was an agreement. But when it got to the selection process, affair collapsed. And OJ did play a role. So why did Barodi? He also played a role. Because for him, it was anybody but Hussein. Anybody.
And those contradictions, more us now. Those contradictions.
More
And Awa was not hiding that.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Atlanta Fini.
Yes.
I swear to God,
Yes.
I will like the lie.
Yes.
We were sitting with Wa,
Yes.
and what he said was very simple. Mom, he is one of the kingmakers.
Yes.
He's not interested in it,
Yes.
but Mom, he would have a say.
Mhm.
Can mo call it? And you suspect on name.
Mhm.
The relationship between the UDP and DAM rivalry,
Yeah.
kinda.
It kills.
It really did. It really did.
It kills.
Because I said, boy, and be permanent.
Yes.
At that final meeting,
Yes.
and people were being nominated.
Yes.
It was the NRP guy we were just talking about,
Duloba. Yes.
and Pamane,
Yes.
that kind of endorsed
Yes.
OJ.
And Dulo, don't def lolu. What on
Ahmad back, because Ahmad
was not in for that.
why am I to that? Ahmad can speak on both sides. of the mouth. That's what Ahmad said afterwards. The affair be Yahoo. And then obviously afterwards, Ahmad, I think he'll form a coalition
With
NRP with Hussein.
And what was the Bob answer? There were people who were still negotiating. Okay, let's negotiate.
Yes.
We are not a UDP from Nekani. We'll do a coalition. And there was even the suggestion that, you know what, we can even do an amendment.
Yes.
Where Usainu would be the president, Halifa would serve as prime minister.
Something like that. Yes.
In fact, Wahid Avadorek and Ahmad an interview with Sankare, Kisi Mansa. Wow.
Echo.
Wow, no, this is over. We are not going to have any talks with the six. So pretty much, I remember having been a debate, but my mom, Negim Baisar. It was a very heated one. But you know, it's just but like I just wanted to touch on Usainu Jaita.
Yes.
And then a Bankatla.
Usainu.
Usainu Jai. Hey, yes.
Unfortunately, Mohammed,
Landing Jallow Sonko. That's another name. These guys.
Hey,
Kokumo OJ, they were like this.
Yes.
In fact,
Landing
OJ.
No represent not.
Yes.
No represent PPP. And interestingly,
yes.
OJ, we go nominate. Landing did not nominate him or vote for him, even though Momo OJ no representative PPP.
But how about this Musa Drame playing on a role they moment there to nomination process bini?
So Musa they represent Sulandinho Momo.
So they am alternate because they am two people and then you have an alternate.
Right.
You know. So but I just wanted to come to Usainu Sabalonyo Landing Jallow Sonko.
Usainu Jai, yes.
Because Usainu Jai, I remember Usainu was this when I knew Usainu dealing with him in football.
Right.
Usainu Jai would sit in a meeting, definitely talks to corner. He hardly says anything. But whenever he spoke, that's the end of the meeting.
Wow.
He has a way of listening to ideas and just know. And then he would just come right in the middle. I remember the plan get Fisco sometimes so frustrated. Fisco would get angry, hit the table and this. But they said, I remember one time I saw Usainu Jai in the stadium. And I wrote something because I was just always writing letters to the editor. Saying, Samba, I was just reading your article. Why all of these idiots will not even understand anything? No. The council guys, some of them were there.
Right there.
Yeah. But then, of course, you know, he was also Bankat, but they refused to capitulate to him.
Yes.
They ended up torturing him because we didn't pay 96, Momonium, OJ, and all those people. And of course, he ended up losing his life.
Yeah.
Because of that torture. You know, that a lot of people sacrificed a lot. You know, Landing Jallow Sonko too. Because Sony OJ, you have to also talk about Landing Jallow Sonko. Because they were always together.
Yes.
The PPP thing, moment he refused to give up. And unless we appreciate, and this is sometimes, we are not going to go into that. Mole mere barorek. When I feel sometimes from nane, dafle fate what
transpired.
Because suggestion na kena si gayami. Neko, if I were President Barrow, one of these, whether it's independence or whatever, confer on some of these people, some of these insignias, order of the Republic of the Gambia, or you cannot take anything away from you, because of the fight that people fought, the sacrifices that they made. Definitely, a lot of people did a lot of work, definitely.
No doubt, no doubt.
No, coming back to OJ, OJ, the number of arrests in the OJ definitely cocaine.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yes, I remember one of his arrests going to Crab Island. Man ñu fekk si këram bu ñu ko arrêté ànd naa moom ba NIA te si moto bi mu ngi doon bañ
non bañkat la.
su ma naka yéen xamu leen seen boppa man di du fi am ñaan niñ PPP niñ fi def ngeen ko bëgg a yaaxal ngeen ma noppi du ma fi noppi tey du ma fi noppi ëllëg kooku ñooñu ne ko ne waaye ñun dañ ñu wax rek pour ñu ñëw ñu am waxuñ dara man ko nen ki leen wax dem leen ngeen wax man maa wax li so you can see ne am na fit
no he was
ragalut
courage la am
mu am courage.
Yes.
So wax dëgg yàlla moom jàmbaar yi amoon nañ.
Yes.
I mean, booy ba tey am na ñoo xam ne bëgg nañ seen réew. They are not just gonna compromise their principles to borrow like that.
am na moom. I'm not people that are like that. ñoo xam ne they wouldn't waver. And I mean, OJ just like because they don't understand 70% of the PPP people they flip. They either join.
No, more than 70%.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like a whole lot of them.
APRC PPP la.
PPP la because ñoom ñëpp dañ dem join.
Yeah.
The very few that did not join.
Tombong ñoom ñëpp PPP lañu woon.
Yes.
Yes. ñoom
Fabakary Tombong waaw am na.
So nga xam ñoom ñëpp PPP lañu woon.
Yes.
So definitely 70% dem na. waaye ñu desoon ñooy ay ñoo xam ne.
ñoom OJ.
Yes.
Landing Jallow Sonko.
Yes.
I mean mun nga leen a compter. Ministre si ñoo xam ne ñoo ko saafara.
Lamin Jabang one time was a minister moom demoon na.
LK Jana.
Yes.
Demoon na de.
Demoon na nga ambassador Saudi Arabia.
Wa nga dégg.
You know.
Yes.
So anyway.
It was.
James Alkali Gay, I don't think that he ever went.
No, Alkali James Musa dem.
Musa dem.
No.
Because Mama.
I'm not ñeneen ñoo xam ne they joined the UDP.
Yes.
I'm not why OJ. The thing is, there was something that separated them from OJ because OJ was just out there.
Yes.
Every time the arrest,
Vocal.
Very vocal.
Was the
He was
platform.
fearless, and then you know was always in the forefront. You know, a lot of these people, Musa, is we need to. This history needs to be written.
It does. It really
because
does.
Otherwise, every time I saw book, I have an outline, and I'm going to write it.
It's
Because I
important.
think this needs to Pata Mune Mange Mom you are appreciate. Yes, Pata, you are appreciated.
I know.
Like we're talking about
For a reason.
appreciation.
Yes, Mune is here for a reason, and God knows. What is
No, he's mad because Ebrima Dibba is my boy. The only one again. I'm mistaken. I apologize. But you're right. Nyom Kisa Desan Yaya Sisi. Yaya Jallow.
Yes, he said to he never wavered.
Yeah, Jallow, yes.
No, send Yaya Jallow.
UDP.
Yaya Jallow. Yes. Yes.
Man ma Karamba Ture. Yaya Jallow. It was me, Karamba Ture, Yaya Jallow, Gigi. There was somebody else in the car. You drove all the way from Maryland and coming here. And you know, Yaya was so, I remember him trying to recruit me. And I'm no, Nagabai do UDP. Nice guys, you know, people did a lot. And I think, what happened to Samoy? I don't think even people understand the difficulty it was to fight Jammeh, especially being in the lion's den.
Yes.
It was very difficult. Extremely difficult.
Facing the fire.
Yes. Yo mutonde.
No.
Easy mutonde.
No. I remember Hussein Odaba, Bernard Bessiweli call. You arrest ko. Why? Hamon na nañ ko arrest. Bala mo ñew ker kind of like depends on what I did because xam kan la mo ñew. So I was there. So ñu ñew definitely jambar amon nañ. Hussein is among them, ñam Khalifa.
Yes.
You know, we'll talk about them one by one. Hussein buñ ko ñew jëlé so stubbornly mo bëgg duggal ci gëna pick up bi. No, because man tam political strategy la.
Yeah.
You know? Si very call bi yalla bi ni ngon dis Ousainou Darboe ci gëna pick up bi.
Yes, that was
mu bañ
emotions.
Mu bañ mu ne fo mu tok ci gëna pick up bi. Gaay dañ ko mujjé neexal balal ñu nga yow kilifa nga ne so mu wacha duga. Bon ñu topa ko ak moto bi boy piri para dem Banjul ton fiñ dem because they xam ne man ma do because dañ ko bëgg yóbbu fo xam so ñu dem ñu yóbbu ko Union Police Station. Mu ne foofu ñu wax ko ne lu tax ñu arrest ko. Yeah, boy, please, you have to tell me why I'm here. But why?
And that's how he talks.
Yes.
That was a good one.
So for you, Baro, the foreign appreciate me, yep.
Definitely.
No matter what.
Definitely.
No matter what. You know.
No, you are right. Hey, well, you're definitely really.
And then, but we go by after 7 days. So you know, mo am bail nag. So police officer mo ne ko ne, Mr. Dabo, yow de bail bi ñew na fi ne ñu bail la waaye ñun suñu boss bi. Déggu suñu boss mo ne ma please, yaa mooy bi mbese la. Yeah. Mu ne ko bi mbese la de, yaa mooy na dia na moom mooy den dara na soo ko no. Den dara na soo ko. Ata al mo do mala. Mu ne oh, no,
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. No. You have it. Ibrima. Yo, no.
Boy, please. I'm not a man. Yeah, me back to the bee. I'm a coil. Better than smoke. Yeah, so understand. So,
yes. Definitely. So, Ebrima, obviously, those were very tough times. And we were able to survive it. Mota guiding the when you are determined and you are able to work together, amut lolen munta overcome.
Oh, yes.
And overcoming Jame, evidently, easy with that. There are a lot of African countries out there with their dictators. They are not even able to do it. Now, for us, we were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
God was on our side. Nyanila. But there is also a resistance, a partnership. The role of the diaspora.
The pandering bias.
The pandering bias of this world.
Alaji Mustafa.
Yes.
You see that joke. Pandering bias. Yeah, quite to allow pandering bias.
Well, there's another guy in the UK. Could they under James Bahum?
Nah, apply job.
Apply job. Yes.
Apply job.
Yeah.
Radical guy, very consistent.
James Bahum.
And
James Bahum.
Yes, Mungi Gambia. You guys keep talking.
You know, it's like it was a fight, a very difficult fight, but one that was very worthy of fighting. And what we're trying to do, reminisce on some of these people. They gave their all to the fight. They died, and they had an aspiration because there was a Gambia that they expected and wanted for us. Unfortunately, now we are still fighting to get that Gambia. It's not going to be easy because it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. It would take a long and a protracted struggle. Because struggle to gain your freedom, you may fight sometimes that long to gain the Gambia that we want. And that is not something that we can just wish away, because it's not going to just happen like that. It would take a concerted effort.
Absolutely.
Well, definitely, all these people, you cannot name them all. They really. Femi Peters. Are you kidding me?
Yes. The 2016, young Usino Bundan Gena. Femi, the Faber.
No.
He was sick. You know, Usino Munekon Femi, your demo talk. You know, Usino. I am not going to do that. And Femi is among the people you have then go arrest. You know, so Lolumongla won lo hamne Duchahan could. You know, you talk about Femi Peters, Mary, you know, Kalama Revolution. I'm saying a job, Takandigam. Yeah, Fatmara Tambajang. You know, the fundraising effort, Ngam GDC fee, you know, working together to make sure dictator with them now. Meeting one topic was difficult.
Kalama Revolution, sir, to also remember our sister Tuku JALLOW.
Tuku
was here, and then you know, was very, very passionate. You know, hey, Tuku, they said. When we see fought a good fight with the UDP in 1996, we won with Bonyo Fini. See it never. I remember seeing when they hear Adams. They will talk, right? Police be no. They were, oh, I want to see you. Okay, what's going on? Oh, we're going to disperse you. Manako, disperse, why? Well, we have information that you guys have some projectiles here, some eggs and this. Manako, eggs.
Yes, sir.
Manako, in the eggs, we can chuku jalo general I creating them. And that was to Jame Ginase, Ujam Konani. Hey, that was the day.
Yeah.
So I spoke to this guy and said, no, you cannot do that. We'll get rid of it. Then you know what? We'll go back and search. So you say exit anywhere, we'll move. Because they came and wanted us to move to across the street and say the hotel was, we'll even feed you, like, you know, we don't want that. So now this was their opening. Because Tuko went and bought all these eggs, and they came her own army of people. You know, luckily we were able to get rid of the eggs and all that.
So Pastor, coming out of your house, your resident, going to demonstrate at that time, you know, how the feeling, what was in you? How are you feel? What make you motivated to have that determination?
It's not different from you. You know, when you joined the UDP, you were a very, very young man. When I still look at it's a video, when you were talking about the student demonstration, I'm like, look at this young man here. You know, unlike Pata, who was busy for, you know, fural all over the place, so you were busy fighting. So it's just the motivation is nothing but just, you know, when you believe in something, you don't think about anything outside of that. You believe in it. Like people like, you know, people like Nyom Usainu Benga, you know, Nyom Nakalatura, Nyom Pankamane, Nyom Sonasala, Nyom Faki Daumane, and all these people, Nyom Sol Benga, because New York, Yange Amon Nyom Sol Benga, Yange Amon Yangs Jame, Yange Amon, you know, they were all there for Fununu, you know, Nyomodu Balde, and all those people, Nyom Se Hombalo, and all these people, so it was like a shared belief, Nyom Falai Balde, Falai don't fly, you know. You know, it was just a belief that people had. You know what? We had to fight this, and man, it used to be very, very nice.
And then this can show you ne nyam sahna sala solo ne sungu change dinañ fa demee man sama nga waxone after the change of government demon na Saudi Arabia at least ma nek scenario tuti am sen afray and all others, but nyam sahna sala Samba Jaw Osmenga, I remember they handcuff you guys like this.
Oh yes.
I mean, poor Gambia Muna Guinness.
Now, Karamba is saying rare Kati. There was this protest that we did.
Yes.
I was there with Karamba, Sol Sedikan, Osmenga, Yasofi Sise, and you know, Musa JUWARA. Yasofi was still active. So we went to this protest. Jame was so you get them to protest with it. So we were just I mean bullhorn. Rare Kati. Lolen fi leka tay deret la lolen fi nan tay deret la, so they were so angry, and Karaba just always would remind me of this rare Kati they said. I remember that protest when we went before Ninino, one now was, and I think and Sophie, we went into the hall. The Secret Service lady came and just started talking to us, and just all was sitting. One was bala new arrest, don't you cast and you protest. So just but you know, those were the days they said. Because it used to be lonely, but again, that is what it is. Because of not everybody was. I'm gonna Jame. When he killed the kids, people started waking up. All right. No, you know, do mom. But when the kids were killed, but when he killed the prisoners, that was like they say, because that was just what did it. I think when the prisoners were executed. And that's when I started seeing a lot more people
getting involved.
And then when he killed Kini Solo Sendeng, especially Maryland, when Fanta Jawara's arrest, Maryland, you know, and all those people like, you know what? Everybody now is like, you know what? Now this is not a child's play anymore. And of course, you know, we were able to get to where we are, but.
I don't know how long we've been online, but we should talk about Rally Conference and
oh yes,
Rally Conference is settled.
When you say Rally Conference, the one who you tell me
because Rally Conference, Soko said law, is what really led to the 2016 coalition. Because the same players, we had an experience before 2006. That's when Save the Gambia Democracy Project was formed. We had a huge meeting, Fini, Morehouse. And that's what really led to, I mean, leadership coming to Atlanta. I mean, that's how everything kind of, what we were able to put it together. But then 2006, affaire bi ñëw the naat debacle. We're gonna create problems even among us. This is where guy UDP debate.
So, Musa, remember 1 minute, right? So, guys, ni hamuñ ne politics, Musa Jeng, ni Ebrima Dibba, Samba, yaga na fi du tay. So, suñ ko bëggee def an issue tay,
yes.
What is the next issue? Politics be more well tomorrow. That's why JUWARA will say politics has no permanent enemy. You know, your worst enemy
can be your strange bedfellows.
Wow.
Tenyun fi, even though there was division within the back home, among us, even though we knew that we need to come together, that's the only way this guy can be stopped. But we also have our biases, inherent biases. And Linyon Jema them more to overcome that and deal with the reality. We were able to do that in 2006 among us.
I'm going to help on Lolo. I'm seeing 100-hour meetings with you.
Right.
But then when the meeting fight be happen, we'll fight Sigaja, you fight with Karamba, Sigaja, Karamba. Who do you think you are? Who the hell?
Sigaja, Karamba is not the confrontation at
Yes, I remember that.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah. So what used to happen was,
I hope Karamba is watching.
He's watching.
So we'll have those very heated
moments.
And then when the meeting was over, we may spend another half an hour or an hour just having a conversation, laughing it off, and just joking with each other. So it used to be, you knew when you come to the meeting, it was serious. But when the meetings were close a meeting, we will sit there for another half an hour
talking,
and it will just be talking, people making fun of each other, joking. So that was the thing.
When people see yo ak Bankamane, how close we were. We didn't really know each other before Lolo. I mean,
oh, yeah?
No, how much you want? Definitely.
That is a surprise.
This is what brought us together, Banka especially. Banka man, Lolo Monyu into together. We live here in Atlanta, doing our thing. Ajera brought us together, and then the politics. And we became very, very close because of the politics. So coming back to 2016, why I always say that we were able to bring about change because of the diaspora more than anything else. I don't care what anybody says, because of Gisna fi affaire bi dore. After the mistake in 2006, affaire bi yeb Yahoo, 2011 we gave it another shot, try different things, because we have a selection process bi mo ya affaire. So 2011 we floated the idea. I remember writing this deal why don't we say we take the 2006 elections, we use that as allocation of delegates. UDP had about how many percent of UDP amount? So that will be the total number of delegates representing them. The total number of delegates, whatever. And then we will come together and we vote to take care of that voting process. But that thing didn't work.
Yes.
So when you lose 2011, everybody was like, oh my God, I might as well. Some gave up. STGDP existed too, except for few people, man, Samba and Bankamane, legi phone be every morning, suma dem ligay, we be talking politics. That's when we received the call from Nyom Alkali Conte. JIDAC. Alkali Conte and Nyom.
You gotta move back 1 minute. Because I've got rally conference came about because of the Dakar conference failed.
Yes.
Frederick Ebert Foundation wanted to finance a conference in Dakar.
Right.
But again, who was going to represent whom became a problem.
Everybody
wanted to go.
Yeah.
So they ended up failing.
Yeah.
And of course, that idea was there. How do we bring it? And that was when...
You remember Buba Bande wrote this lengthy. I mean, for the Dakar conference. Buba kind of hijacked it. No, man, let's call it for what it is. Buba kind of hijacked that conference. And like you said, it never happened. So, but Nyom Alkali, they really wanted to do something small. But because Nyom Amon experience, Alkali called. So, okay, we're trying to put something together. Momo Nyom, what's the name? Makam.
Yes.
Lamin Tunkara, Kinte Dabo,
Mustafa
Jawara, all those guys. So they call and say, hey, you guys have done this before. And we want to organize something in Raleigh. No, they did not even want to do it in the political leaders today. They just wanted to have a conference within the US. So you know, look, even though we're all tired of these coalition talks, but if we want to make this thing work, we have to, if we want to make it big, I never wanted that. I don't want small stuff. The only way we can make it big, if we bring these people with name ID, Nyom OJ, Nyom Usainu. That's how you're going to make this thing big.
Nyom Bibi Dabo.
That's what is going to make it impactful. So we worked in time. We have our conference called Nyom Alkali. There were always problems.
Don't mention my problem with Banka.
No, I won't mention go. There was one Sunday between Banka and Ebrima Dibba. I still remember that. I was at a naming ceremony. I stepped aside to call in into that show. Buddy. Bro, insults were flying all over the place. But Rally, coming back to Rally, this is you never give up on them. When we went to Rally did something.
It did.
It really did.
But we were able to because we need learning from what we did for meet the Diaspora summit with FEMI.
Right.
Was okay, let's expand. Let's not limit it to only Nyun. So we were able to get all other people.
Players.
Sankara Misa.
Sankara,
because
correct.
We had our committees. I was on the committee. I remember there was something we wrote, and he said something, and Amadou Lo no, that's not
good
English. I have like a master's degree in English language.
I remember what happened was this was the last day of the conference. Okay, of course there was no agreement of any sort, and we were not even seeking for that. We're going to bring all these big players for them to come together under one roof. Then new what time? Then anything can happen. So at the end of the day, okay, last day let's put together an accord. The Leland agree. When you gave your that speech, I'm gonna call Al Quran. That was the first time actually I met Ibrahim.
Yeah, 2013.
Either he'll go to quote Al Quran
or he's gonna try.
Oh God, come on, man. Let's suspend the whole thing, man.
So we were all together. Karamba was there.
Yeah.
We all sat, and then we were putting together this accord, with Amadou Lo, Sankare,
and then the former mayor of Banjul was there.
Basala Jeng.
Basala Jeng was there.
So we step aside. We put together the accord nicely. There was a lot of hunger guy. Okay, we put a comma here, this, that. No, we go in there. This was after. We put this accord together after Amadou Lo and Sankare. Sankare, no, we have to change him. Who are you talking about? I have a master's degree in English language. You think you can tell me how to write? So you're in the affair, OJ was there. Sankara was, an issue was raised. So Sankara, you see, I was telling them, OJ, no. You guys put this thing together. Let's not blame each other. And then we put it up on the screen. This is where Usain got up. No. So we're gonna put here a semicolon, and then we're gonna put a comma there. But coming back to the thing, the fact that we were able to do that, and we had only 3 years. I mean, the ambassador. Sidat Job was there. Bibi Dabo was there. Ahmad Ba, Usainu, OJ. So, I mean, it kind of set things in motion.
No, look, and the other thing, boy, you're going to understand too. Separation of Amon.
Yes.
Because after 2006, about 2011, mom dafa demon OJ them supporting Usainu.
Wow.
So you had at least to bring back everybody there, and you have to be the Gambian, right? When we were all together again, it became among being a camaraderie. Everybody was there. It was the only person King Hamne was not allowed to come there, I think, was Pata. Why everybody was there. My party, I think, in fact, wanted Pata to read statement and bring Hamne Momla Warona Johe. So you had, it was the who is who.
Of the my father don't support her.
No, Mom, he's always been a my party.
No man, Pata, I think I first met Pata at the Washington protest.
Yeah.
This was Dame. And the protest was it after 2013 rally or before?
I think it was after. Pata didn't come to this thing.
Rally conference. I don't remember, yeah. But again, these are all experiences that we learn. Don't ever say this is impossible. Don't ever say that. What you do is you create the opportunity. And that is important. Create all the opportunity and just see how things are going to go. And because coalition building is not really easy.
No, it's not.
Like Bara would say, it's not easy like that day.
No, it's not. And this is why any country, you will have another coalition trying to uproot that other coalition that was in power. But the thing to this conference is, Musa, if people say anything you want about the diaspora,
yes,
why you can never question their commitment to the country.
Yes.
Because all this conference we didn't start it with a penny.
No.
And we end up having not branch in New York,
yes,
Seattle,
yes,
you know, I mean,
and
yes.
even like I said, even Duga Simo Papsa, when it came about, I remember when they killed the guy, the prisoners.
Yes.
On our bank, we were like, okay, we have to do this coordinate protest all over the world, the National Day of Outrage or whatever they call it, you know. And my party wanted to do something, so we contacted Mai and said, listen, before Kunekade, let's just join this and make it together.
Like Joe.
You know,
flew all the way from
UK
to that event.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so of course, when we had the meeting, Pull Duga, it was supposed to be branches all over. You were supposed to have Duga in here, Duga in Seattle, Duga in everywhere. It just happened Duga DC, the one who just, you know, remained very focused on it. And
Right.
But that was the thing. But everything that we wanted to do, Gambians were always willing to dig into their pockets and contribute. We contributed money, you contribute money, and that's how we were able to get the money to do the rally conference.
Of course,
to buy tickets for these people to come.
Yes.
We didn't have a penny.
No.
But we told people this is what we want to do, and look at even the NAP thing.
Oh no, Bobo Mom was the most creative one that we were able to put together. Because we didn't have, in fact, sir, there was not even an organization. No. Let's come together. No. That's why we kind of hide behind Ajera. The political folks, you know, poorly affair during the July 4th. I remember the parties themselves actually funded their airline tickets. Yes. You know, the Deutsche supporters in the US, Nyom Harona, the past Sambas, UDP, Nyom Karamba, they were able to put together their own. Ahmad Ba and his guys put together their own.
So I think Ahmad Ba issue. So we had to, other parties had to come in to help them to make sure that we had the funds.
Exactly.
You know, so we were just so, it's like we didn't want anybody not to come.
Oh, they were able to use Usain Mbenga, who was already in the US. But again, Ebrima, I mean, I'm not saying that we are at the same place because these are different times. Let's be honest. I mean, what we sacrificed and fought, I think that we are able to see a different Gambia. Really, I mean, there is at least a rule of law. There is a semblance of democracy. However we feel about it, because of what we have done, not what Barrow allowed us to do. No, we created the environment. Now, link to Saint we haven't accomplished all. I can tell you, any struggle in the world, don't want to struggle for something and then you fix it overnight. It's impossible. It doesn't work like that. So we are back at a critical stage. In most of us, myself included, I want to see change in 2026. Billahi, I want to see that. I want a totally different folks. So that the very things that we are not able to accomplish, whether it's a new constitution, whether it's just a new way of doing business, allowing other people to have a say, I think is good for our democracy, irrespective of your one party or one individual support.
Father, the genuine players who won better this nene for some change buñ bëgg amuñ ko.
Yes.
That's why we're still
At it.
added.
Yes.
Number two, luñ fi wax ne kenn warut a dem fii more than 2 terms. There was a clean 2 term, the 3 term.
Yes.
There was a clean, even bring the constitution
Yes.
for Gambia.
That was the core.
Look, that was the core.
Yes.
No, gisuñ ko.
Self-perpetuating was the word.
Yes.
We get rid of Jammeh because of to stop self-perpetuating.
You know, you don't expect Samba still talking about the same thing from 1996 to
What the guy?
after having all this effort. To me, I mean, unfortunately, you never ended Jammeh, Barrow, Astaghfirullah. Then why, unfortunately, he's not listening to Samba, he's not listening to you, he's not listening to me.
No.
He's just doing something.
No, he's even listening to the people that we fought to get rid of.
Okay.
And that's the unfortunate part.
Like you said, we need another coalition again next year. It's even very close.
Extremely close.
And then, lu ñu war a def ñun mooy ne. luñ bëgg a gis Gambia dem. na dem noonu ñun ñëpp noppale. But nothing is working in that country. So that now £1 is $100.
Yes.
Ak li bu doon ñëw 43 la woon.
Yeah.
You know, now, so there are nobody change. Although mun naa wax ne freedom of speech am na.
Yes.
Ni waaye loolu taxul tamit ñu jóg pour wax li nga bëgg rek dem sa yoon. Loolu tamit taxul ñu jóg def xeex bi di. Dañ bëgg a gis Gambia new constitution, rule of law. I mean, constitution guide the country guided by the good constitution. And loolu
amut.
Béy balaa ñoo am loolu ñun ñëpp dañ war a jóg ne. Baro doy na waruloo taxaw waaye warul nekk xuloo. Warul nekk xeex kenn warul doy ñàkk bakkanam. Man maa doon wax ne Baro balaa moo tax dina dox si kaw néew yi. Man I'm not into that anymore. Façon behavior I don't want to do it. I don't want to be violent. Li ma bëgg a def rek mooy let us won ko ne luñ fi defoon Jammeh mun nañ ko defar.
Yes.
Ndax leaders yi su ñëw ñu xam ne nit ñi power belongs to the people.
Absolutely.
Jarul kenn xeex, jarul kenn xuloo. We should be civilized by doing these things, you know.
And we don't want to destroy, because I think that is important, because there is always this talk, we're not going to allow Barrow to run. And I understand it. People can put up pressure. But we wow, I'm always reading here. So, but at the end of the day, it's not what Barrow is going to do. It's what we are going to do. So we are very unsatisfied with the status quo. And then we want to change the status quo. Not me, I just want to remove Barrow to replace him with Ebrima Dibba. Then I think we need to put our heads together and say, okay, how can we get this thing done? See, Ebrima, man, personally, that is why sometimes do I consider small person that support party. Like when you say that people, I know what everybody supports a party. But I'm not a prisoner to a party. What I want to see, I'm not, seriously. What I want to see, Moine, what is the practical way that we can bring about change? Back during the Jammeh days, that's why they used to call me Mr. Coalition. Because at that time. I didn't think that there was any other way that this guy can be defeated. Possible.
You always believe that Katamuna change.
Yes, I always believe that.
One person didn't believe.
No, he wavered. No banker yet. That was one of my they criticized.
And I always believe in what you said.
Look, if we all come together, however we do it, as long as, because my thing, there is a psychological, the voters in the Gambia, there is this psychology. Swing Gomene, Kimuna win. 2016, there was the belief in these people coming together. Jammeh can be defeated. Now, of course, there are some other issues. Maybe it's not black and white sometimes. I mean, to Samba's defense, Samba's problem, the coalition would remove Jammeh. He just didn't think after 2006 and after 2011, it was possible.
And he cannot blame him.
And he can speak for himself.
Yeah.
But he always said that I don't see these people coming together. Now, there are people who believe me after the 2016 and call it betrayal, call it mistrust, that it's almost impossible for these people to come together. Among your UDP supporters, I have to call it what it is, they believe that they can do it alone. And I think that's a mistake. If they think Gambians mburu yoko from $10 to $12, and that Gambia is hard, somehow Gambians are learning their lessons.
No, we need coalition. No doubt.
But it's not going to do it there.
Yeah.
all it's gonna happen more, we're gonna have regrets afterwards. And then there will be a lot of double talk and trying to explain away. Be or, li or. Boy, you fought an alliance, difficult as it may be, and you let it fly.
Absolutely.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you would know that this was the best alternative available. But if you decide, nah, it's difficult, it's this, is that. I mean, we had problems in 2016. He betrayed me. These people are not honest. Blah, 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 blah. Then I think, and especially, we all heard this rumor, but Mama Kande is going to go join Barrow. If that happens, the stakes are going to be very high, extremely high. Mama can go and join Barrow and you can still pull it off. Man, you do
yeah,
we all know that.
Good. What do you know about that?
I do not think I think good. These stakes are going to be too high.
No, they're going to be too high. And one thing I know for free, when in the absence of a comprehensive coalition, it has to be something very close to what we have in 2016 or even exceed it. Barrow is going to win. And I don't think Barrow winning is a good thing for our country. And these are on two fronts. First, I don't think he has done anything to suggest he can be the transformational leader that we need to move the country forward. They are running the country, you know, they're doing here, doing there, doing here, but you cannot look at it and the strategy about how many more moves in the country. You have some ministers that are doing some work, some you don't even know something exists. And what Gambia needs is somebody who has the vision to be able to move the country forward. Now, the other part, like you said, the reason why it was necessary to fight against Jammeh, the reason why it was necessary to be forging coalition over and over and over again was because of self-perpetuating rule. Because if we had term limits, there would not have been the need.
Yes.
Solo said they would not have died.
Right.
Femi Peters may not have died.
Right.
All these people may not have died because Jammeh would not have been there for more than 10 years.
Correct.
And there is history, irrefutable history. Any time you see a leader who go beyond 10 years,
yes,
they become focused on how to entrench
themselves. Yes.
And when your focus is entrenching yourself,
right,
then anybody who says anything you are thinking is coming after you. And that is when you become so heavy-handed because you become paranoid. You are more worried about your survival. So the responsibility for citizens, we should not act like we are helpless in this, because at the end of the day, you have the votes and you should be able to vote. But citizens to pull nyaka nasa, the opposition must give them something that will make them want to say, you know what, now these people have come together, let's vote for them. Because if you have 3-4 candidates, Barrow is going to win, and not because he's popular, and not because he's doing anything better than anybody. It's because of you just going to divide the votes, and most people don't know what to waste their time. But I believe that even with Mama Kande joining him, especially now, because if you have a coalition, Mama Kande can go and join Barrow.
Yes.
Those people will now be part of the problem because now they will be subsumed into the NPP. They will be NPP government. Okay? The coalition should be one candidate, Mano ag Mano, ag Barrow, ag whoever supports him, Barrow is going to lose. But Mama Kande said, let's look at his numbers. I challenge people to go and check Mama Kande's numbers, 2016, ag numbers are 2021. And you will discover the overwhelming majority of votes in the Momla am 2021 were the so-called Jammeh hardcore votes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look at what he did in Fonyi. what he did in some of the Combo
Western
areas,
Division,
Western
yes.
Division, in a Jami stronghold.
Combo
Right.
East, Combo
Now,
South.
compare.
Yes.
All I'm saying, just do
Look at the data.
analysis.
Yeah.
Look at the data.
Yeah.
And you will see, because Mama Kande too is not stupid. Mama Kande also knows that his support is dwindling.
Oh,
That's why
big time.
he cannot even have one seat in the National Assembly. Does he have any? I don't think he has.
I don't think he does.
You know, so you had that. So he's done that calculation and believes that, you know what, my only way out, more let me join Barrow. And Barrow doesn't care. Musa Jeng mi sa su demonte call ko ne ko ma ngi ñew tay tegal ko sabar jidal ko naka pick up bu es ne ko na position ga buga, because Barrow has become so greedy ne feel na ne anything lu ñew daf ko wara jël, so I will take anybody and everybody to come and join me, even su fekke ne sa they don't believe. Why do you think Barrow they won and Sabali with everything that Sabali said to him?
So coach, I'm not linked to, I'm not solo toro more in a, it's a responsibility of every Gambian just need. So if you get a time limit, I'm not saying there's no need for anybody to stress yourself about me kind of coalition, because
yes,
you know,
them, yeah,
it
takes care of
it. Because he wants to entrench himself so much so that the Republican too much power.
Yes.
And of course, if he win this election 2021, knowing Gambian 2026, I mean, to be honest, so little opportunity Bobo warring Kokojo.
Yes.
Then you want to job Tahone, when any leader Kuwa Nyosa after Jamme. After Barrow.
Yes.
This is what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
You understand? So we should teach him a lesson go hamne do komo safate.
Yes.
Because more finyo mune mom jangana Jamme tami jangan. Why mom fate na mom listen nim janga daf ko fate.
Fate na ko completely.
How much mo fate on that power below?
Power does that. Power does that.
So power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Barrow does not remember anything.
So Pasamolumpiwa, Degala. If we have Niyep join, I mean Barrow.
Yeah.
Coalition time am candidate Gambian dinañ sen bot ni.
Yes.
Ki lim fu buga am du fi am koku la ñoo sanel karta ñu génné fo koku tam su bëggé melni comme mom tamit the same thing will happen to him. Why koku will not have that opportunity?
Yes.
Because if that person cannot learn from Jamme, Barrow, and even PPP, overstaying doesn't help nobody. That's what led us to the coup d'etat in 1994.
Yeah.
Easy access. Soldier in your coup d'etat bo hamne sa.
They didn't think it was going to be successful. So it was taking it by ear.
Yes.
I'm coming back to Mama and Pastor Samba, you talk about go back and look at the data in 2021. Mama joining Barrow, he's not going to bring voters with him. Because you go voted in 2021, all these Jamme voters, they're not going to follow Mama. Mama, his voters are not, what do they call that? Mobile, if there is a lack of a better word. Hamga, nunda indi nyonyu. But there is the psychological effect. Because people believe me, Mama was there in 2016, in 2021. Everybody talk about GDC as one of the big players. So psychologically, that's what he has. He has a capital, political capital that he has. So mom sudu be join Barrow. Psychologically, this is game over. Understand? So opposition be unless and until they counter that. Now wait a minute, this ain't going over there. We are going to forge an alliance. We believe me. You are giving them an option to vote against the alliance, the NPP GDC alliance. But so we want to go it alone. UDP wants to go it alone. Doi wants to go it alone. SFL wants to go it alone.
One thing that
Ball medal is in the court of the
opposition. What they choose to do.
Of course, we do not face an existential threat like we did with Jam. But opposition, the country is heading in the wrong direction. Now, the Gambian people. More a solution to this problem. And we own the country. There can only be one president. But I don't believe the suffering of the people should continue because our leaders refuse to sit and put their differences aside and forge a way forward. Governing a country is a lot more challenging and difficult than putting your ego aside and working with a partner to find a solution. Because the problem we have all these political leaders is limited to their party supporters. Now, when you run a country, over 2.4 million to 5 million lives rest in your hands. So if you want to solve some problem, you need 2.5 million. Why not solve the easier problem? I say, you know what? We are going to sit and find a way of solving this issue. Put your agendas aside. And it's politics. Come with your program. What you want, and let's convince each other.
And there was a time you get doy, then them talk to their leaders.
Yes.
You get UDP. At one time, then just were able to get to that level. At one time. You them session leaders they for your coalition. And I think the same thing is gonna happen again. The folks from UDP, we go to talk to our leadership, the folks from the DOI and all other political players
put pressure.
You have the tahaw as a candidate. You have the support. I'm in Paris. You want hey, the only solution for the country is this, or it's going to be difficult for us to give our able support. I think that's the only.
Ebrima, I do believe now. I know that there are a lot of potential parties that are out there. Nyom Pap, he was on our program. The guy from Nyomi. Last two Sundays, we knew on this program. But man, I do believe if you can forge an alliance between the UDP and DOI as a beginning, as a starting point, man, I think it's going to be easy. And you see, DOI might not have electoral success. Why send Kadu accent bad? That they yobwale nobody. I'm not independents that will not kind of walk into a polling booth and vote for DOI. But if look at the role that DOI played during the 2016, when Halifa speaks, people listen. Understand what I mean? And Gambia, they don't really belong to any party, but they also want to see change. If they see a Halifa Saleh saying, "Look, what is happening in our country is not sustainable. We need change. We need real change." And DOI and UDP, they're working together with SFL. He's a new player, but let's call it what it is. He's out there. I do believe that is a start. Then the guy from Nomi, Pap. And Ebrima Tabaromani. I think it's a start. So that's going to make it easier for any other no party or potential. Okay, man, I'm forming a party to run against the government. Here there is a coalition bloc that I can be part of. And all they need to do, Ebrima, Moine, let's at least put, because opportunity I'm going in 2016, because everything I'm in one time. So they forged an alliance without doing everything that needed to be done. And I'm glad that they did. But at least I'm in time. They can put together a party platform. Yes, we are going to come together based on these things. If we win, like we said, a new constitution, an end to self-perpetuating. We want to make sure that there is term limit. We want to make even the way the economy is going to be managed. If they do that.
Well, Gambia is a small country.
It is.
I think we can develop that country in a way that everyone will be impressed with that country.
Yes.
But if we don't put our differences aside and work for the interest of the country, it will just be that difficult, because Nyom Baro ni nekk di manage the country is not helping. Ñu ngay nekk di def lu leen ne, comme Musa am na ministre yoo xam ne kenn xamul leen sax. Nobody even know who are those people. They have even the interest of the country at heart. So definitely we must come together. Comme ni nga ko waxee doy bëgga leen bañ leen am nañ integrity am nañ kaddu boo xam ne kaddu yu dëgër lañ so we must come together. I think that's the best bet for the oppositions, and I think it's going to happen this time. And we all pray that we have opposition unity, and then unseat these people. Barrow and his people more violent.
Maneko Sariang is feeling a little bit left out. So he's just he's up for Fajr prayers. Sariang, he's in the Middle East.
Oh, he's in the Middle East.
Yeah, so he said he wants to he's want to call into. So I'm not Dinako send Levy the link, so that he he can call in. But Ebrima, definitely having you, Mom.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Let me see whether I can bring in Sariang.
Yes.
Oh, an error occurred. I don't know what happened. Jameson Sariang Libini. Ano lumyo na?
Oh, Jehna.
No, Jehud. Sariang la. I don't press send link, but it keeps giving me an error, so I don't know.
Hope you are not.
Yeah, gonna to the host.
Yeah, it's almost 8 o'clock. So Ebrima,
Yes.
So we're gonna get down to the closing. I mean, it's nice to have you here in Atlanta.
Yes.
So what Ebrima like you than live feature?
Wow, man, I love feature. So come to my political rally. Somebody mom soon never small papa yep the manage my meeting be what. Why so jabar mom? Somebody say my feature like the money tongue for 2 days. Yeah, that part I want to change. I want Pada to help me and he even make it worse.
Hey, man, me is the same thing. My wife would tell me the same thing. You make me emni young.
But you are different. Ki halela. So
Waman ki mun na feja. Can I make the feja? I'm like
no.
Small boss Omar Amadou Jallow.
Wow.
No, do go to the yard, Samba.
I know, right?
No, it is an Ojengi Page.
No.
Definitely.
No, Oje to go to the yard.
Yeah. So,
Is
Musa,
that
I'm solo lima fi bugawa.
Yeah.
This nga ni la ni wala neke Gambians. Political parties are just a vehicle to drive your.
Come on, man.
Bring
that down.
With that you oh, this mogoza.
Some people are like that.
Yeah.
So Musa, lima fi bugawa moy. Political parties are a vehicle to just drive and sell our agenda. Understand? Why numa toge yen ni? Waxuma la ne ñu bari xamuñ suñ diggante man suma diggante ak yow tey ak Pa Samba ak ñoom Pata ak ñu fa nekk si struggle bi yëpp woon du tey
moom
understand nga c'est political party foo ñu am tolerance
definitely
kenn ku nekk mën a gis moromam ne kii doomi réew la ba pare am na right pour support any political party that he wish waaye nañ ko def si yar ak teegin you understand nga Musa Jeng mun naa wax tey loo xam ne ànduloo si moom tey waaye ëllëg mun naa wax loo xam ne ànd nga si moom bés bu mu xam waxee dara loo xam ne ànduloo si moom just rectify him nga wax ne man nii laa ko gisee politique war saaga moom warut a faa nekk man dem na ba tax man politique sax nu ma ko daan téye nu ma ko buggee woon buggaatuma ko noonu
yes
understand nga because social media people are abusing each other
definitely
calling each other with names loolu amul benn njëriñ
definitely
yeah, I understand.
Definitely.
Man tey ni ma fi toogee nii sa kër. Ëllëg mu nga toogee nii suma
absolutely
te su mu demee benn xale ni ku nekk na dem indi ku nekk ñëw seen pari man yow daa ñëw man la kañ dem UDP.
Yeah, definitely. It's much easier to convince.
Waaye su fekkee ne man dama la def suma enemy so much so that.
Yeah, du ma la déglu sax.
Su ma bëggee ñëw si yow bëgg a toog ak yow Musa Ka UDP, are you gonna listen to me?
No.
Or if I make code my enemy, bëgg a code gis ne because of bokku to UDP.
Yeah.
So man I'm an advocate for UDP.
Absolutely.
Because particular bokon from day one, bete. Inshallah, I'm not thinking any way of leaving this party.
I don't
understand. Bugako Banko UDP is the largest political party.
Absolutely.
I mean, or opposition political party in the country today.
Absolutely.
So you have coalitions, you need UDP.
I mean, you will not even have a coalition.
How can you do coalition without UDP?
No, it's not possible.
But if UDP also want to be elephant in the house, they don't want to go get other people, bring them.
Yes.
Watch and send Bopa. Are they gonna come?
They will not come.
No. For you watch and send Bopa. You have lunyo wa nakaran ko wahe, fan lañ ko wahe. So lolu yep si yar la atege. So politique nekul ne ay non nañ. Musa tay suma bëggé sama fanan fi sa kër.
Absolutely.
Man suma guy, bo man ma ole, man Musa is my njatigi.
Yes.
Musa is, I don't hide that to nobody.
Definitely.
Because no one Why should I hide my friendship with you because of the fear of other people?
Yes, definitely.
Understand?
You've always been like that. Yo man hamna nyo hamne. Right now, they are NPP big time. They will always tell me, I'm going Ebrima Dibba mom, hold me never said. Whether you're Jebel Cisse, I'm gonna be honest. Nyo hamne definitely. Ni wahunji UDP da.
Because we might need them and I can go to
but they will never say something bad about you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Now, politics, bro, when everything is said and done, and there has to be civility and respect.
Of course.
All of you, yek. But ñun Gambians, dañ xawa this.
Yeah.
So len yegul rek. You're basically pushing them away. So
politics if you want
yeah.
It doesn't help anybody. Anybody will say they or
yeah. That's
so
you in the land this special program, just to
we can do more research about other politicians you have we didn't even mention them.
Kemeseng, la ilaha.
Kemeseng from since 70s NCP Bankadla NCP Munyo bete nega opposition.
Yes, and he has lost elections against Yaya Cisse.
Kemeseng mune so ji say Yaya Cisse ak Kemeseng bena gal. Da nga wara di laaj sa bop lu waw lolu. Mune so ji say Yaya Cisse ak Kemeseng gis len bena gal. Da nga wara laaj sa bop. Rew beata you put all our differences aside.
That's what coming out strange bedfellows in politics. And so you should not write anybody off.
Yeah. Halifa Oje.
Yes.
And how much are you looking politics? And I've said this a lot. I was this young radical Lajel Jebel. And I was crazy. Guy PPP mom. No. So Oje Jarome Senema. I'm going Jarome Senema. Yoni Birkaba. So Oje Yangi talk for I don't know what they were doing. When I came, I was the young one. Oje greeted me. Mameni Maraji. I didn't even respond to them. So Madam Bureau, because of his the way to go to the Doi Bureau. I was not all these were Halifa. So Halifa just the more living remember pare. No, I think you've made a mistake. What do you why you couldn't know you can go to OJ is not your enemy, he's just an opponent.
Oh my God.
And the interesting thing was it didn't take long for the coup to happen. And guess who became now a comrade in the fight against
OJ.
So more than sometimes you can have your very distinct disagreements, but it should not lead to where hatred. Like even guy Nakala guy to the MPP.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, Lunekala Yakabaro. But I take my phone, I call some of these ministers. Some things will happen, I'll call and speak to them. Like normal people. It's not going to have gone to a level Bengamni. It's never going to make me an enemy. One person that I can never be a friend with, Moya Jame. He goes to hell and he's one.
He's going to be the next president.
But anyway, viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. We didn't give this a lot of publicity, but we thought it's an opportunity that we cannot miss. So ame gan gu maga ko buga xajane da ngay ñew ci aduna ci yap nga wone gan gogu. And Ebrima, it was good to
but unfortunately you are missing.
But PJ, next time bro, I'm going to bring you here.
His political antenna is too low. Because Pata was busy, the top of food all over so I don't think
so and I'm tuned in the boy fatty. I'm going to never knew.
Story. 2001 presidential election.
Yeah,
Baba Job. Baba Job this top of suñ convoy suñ move. Manako ki Baba Job la. Manako boy please ngata. Baba Job Baba. Konkal you watch si mo
solari gaele.
Boy hanga man daw rek la amul. Mo bay ko gëna mu from today mo Musa and ak yow. The man down head because he's in Gambia. So I told you Tiago. No, chapanda. I'm done with
Nobody explore that experience. But again, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. And we will be back July 13th, Sunday, for the people, by the people. Sariang Marwang, my good friend, I would have loved for you to dial in. We've been on for a couple of hours now. So, but have a good one. And thank you to all of you. Be Dimas Akjama, Nyem Thanks.